As James Bond and Madeline Swan make their way through Italy, it appears that they have all the time in the world, and if you know your James Bond movies, you know that's the last thing you really, really want. And soon the portent of doom appears to have come true, as it turns out Madeline might be working for Spectre after several incidents seem to tie all into her. However, Bond lets his heart get in the way and just chooses to let her go and go into hiding for the next 5 years. What brings James out of semi-retirement is none other than an off-books project called Heracles, a retrovirus that is designed to attack particular strands of DNA, meaning it could just target one individual in an entire crowd and not be a weapon of mass destruction. In other words, it's the perfect assassin. However, it seems that there's just no one he can trust, as evidence seems to link not only Spectre, but also MI6, the CIA, and in particular Madeline Swan. Added to that, a lot has changed in the fact that there's now a new 007, an agent named simply Nomi. However, James Bond will soon learn that if he wants all the time in the world, then there can't be any time to die. This is James Bond, No Time to Die. Okay, so I hope that was simple enough there. Basically, yeah, it all kind of centers around Léa Seydoux' character of Madeline Swan in this. Early on, you see her and James on kind of a honeymoon-like adventure. They're obviously planning to get married, and she talks her into visiting the grave of Vesper Lind to kind of seek some type of closure with her, even though he claims he has it. And it's then, as he visits the grave alone, a bomb goes off inside and is clearly targeting him. And he's like, what's going on? And this big pursuit happens. He brings her along, and she keeps saying, like, this doesn't have anything to do with me. And then she gets a phone call from Blofeld, or what appears to be Blofeld, which can't possibly be true. But again, it's enough to just make Bond that suspicious. But like I said, in the end, he lets his heart kind of get in the way, and he says, okay, maybe you're telling the truth, but I can't wholly trust you, and you can't be around me, you know, from everyone's own safety. So he puts her on a train and goes into hiding, like I said, for 5 years. And then this Heracles thing comes up, and like I said there, it's this retrovirus that can target particular strands of DNA. And it turns out that Spectre had someone on the inside of MI6, and they were able to get their hands on this. However, it turns out this scientist, I think his name is Obachev. I took terrible notes because I got a bunch of names wrong in this. So do bear with me in that. And I hope you don't mind, I'm just going to call Nomi 007 throughout this, just to kind of keep the differentiation. So Bond will be Bond, Nomi will be 007. Okay? And anyway, like I said, Heracles is this retrovirus that can target particular strands of DNA. And suddenly, though, when Bond seems to be on the verge of catching the guy who has it, it gets released, and it winds up killing all of Spectre, because for some reason they were being invited to celebrate Blofeld's birthday, even though Blofeld is still in prison and pretending to be a rambling idiot who only talked to one particular psychiatrist. Gee, do we wonder who that could possibly be? And I'll try to avoid the big spoilers. But the other thing is, so now there's this obvious third branch, and it kind of leads to someone, like I said, who also connects to the past of Madeline Swan, who is this guy named Lucrezia Severn. And like I said, he has a big connection to her past. I'll try to avoid the whole thing there, but he winds up trying to blackmail her into exposing Blofeld as well. And so, again, this leads to a lot of awkwardness when Bond comes back. Also in the process, they have an agent at the State Department who's turned on them, and in the process Felix Leiter gets killed. So again, this is basically the big ending for the Daniel Craig era of Bond, obviously, and I don't know what it foretells, because unless you subscribe to a certain belief, and that's all I'm going to say about that. There's also a few other revelations, and at one point there is a mislead, but it gets reconfirmed at the end, which again I won't get too far into. I say overall, again, this is very solid. To me, all of Daniel Craig's Bond movies have been really solid. I even like Quantum of Solace, and I realize I'm probably the only one who likes Quantum of Solace, but yeah, I like it. I kind of like the way they slowly built back. They basically abandoned a lot of the Bond tropes, and then they slowly started to work them back in. I mean, you know, even though they were called Quantum at first, Spectre eventually kind of made its way back in slowly, and then, you know, Q pops up in the third one, and then we get a new male M that replaces Judi Dench at the end of Skyfall. And, you know, we get more of the unique gadgets and the plot points, and Bond's more quippy through it all. You know, he's not quippy at all in the first one, and like you see in this one, he's just, you know, he's what you think of when you think of James Bond. And they do cut back a lot on the set. I mean, if you look, you know, in those movies, you know, he hooks up with like 2 or 3 women in the first one, really only hooks up with like 1 woman in the second. He doesn't hook up with any in Skyfall, and then, you know, it's Madeline Swan, and then, yeah, I think that's like a woman at the beginning too. Yeah, there's like a woman at the beginning. And this one, again, it's pretty much just Madeline Swan. I mean, there's, I think, indications that he may have slept with someone else at one point, but I can't remember who. Like, when he's in hiding, he may have hooked up with someone, but, yeah, anyway. So, yeah, there's a lot of kind of twists and turns in this, but eventually it just all kind of points to this one guy, Sephirin, and his unique past. I think I'll give a little bit into this. Basically, yeah, at the beginning of the movie, we see Madeline Swan having this dream about the time her mother was killed, and, you know, her father had killed this Sephirin's guy's family in this massive poison attack, and he had managed to consume a plant that could defend poison, but it left him really scarred. And he came back looking for revenge, and they were in this isolated mountain cabin. It was wintertime, and she, you know, the mother gets shot and killed. He chases Madeline, out onto the lake, and she falls through some thin ice, and at the last second he changes his mind and elects to save her. And so that's how this kind of comes back to her. And again, she's really more the center point in this. You see Bond, but, you know, again, it's mainly actually a Madeline Swan movie with some other revelations. I won't get any more into that than that, though. So, like I said, good action set pieces, decent enough story. Again, it's the problem that's fallen into the last few Bond movies, which is good stories, interesting ideas, but just too damn long. No Bond movie needs to be 2.5 hours long. I mean, my screening started at 7. It is now almost 10:35, and this is when I'm recording. You know, that's just, it's like, that shouldn't happen for a James Bond movie. It should be quick, it should be fun, it should be action-packed. Exactly, like, you have the plot cul-de-sacs, but you don't delve too deep into them, and you don't have overly long action sequences, and this one has a lot of overly long action sequences. So yeah, it's the same problem that befell Skyfall and Spectre, and so yeah, again, I guess another way to send off Daniel Craig's Bond, I guess it makes sense to do it just one last time. But overall, like I said, this is still a very good film. Like, hopefully I didn't spoil too much else. And yeah, like I said, it's very good. It's solid. It's enjoyable. It's Bond. It gets a B. I don't think I can go quite into A territory. Again, the length just kind of kills it a little bit too much. And there's a couple other revelations that I don't know where they're going to go, or if they're going to be able to go with this. But obviously James Bond will probably return someday, but it won't be Daniel Craig. So, like I said, it gets a B. It's very solid.
The world's youngest secret agent.
You and I were in our top-secret laboratory when two of Scum's most notorious villains, Jaws and Walker de Planck. I grabbed the computer, but de Planck got his hooks on Q. I tried to stop Jaws, but he had other ideas.
Get the computer.
Just in time, Q blasted de Planck, and I fired the top-secret computer. I think they got the point. Time for a spin in the new sports car, when behind me, Scum Sharks. I activated the blast shield and returned fire. Another fish to fry. Happy landings.
James Bond Jr.
Okay, trailer time, and you'd think after, you know, finally getting a lot of these ones we've been getting trailers for the last few times, we'd finally start getting some new trailers. You'd think that. We got Halloween Kills again, The Last Duel again, Dune again, Ghostbusters Afterlife again, Eternals again, and then we finally got one new trailer out of all of this, and that is The Kingsman, the Kingsman prequel, which, yeah, I mean, it's a Kingsman movie. Looks fine. You know, I actually haven't really seen any of the Kingsman movies. I've heard of them. I've heard things about them. Obviously, good things, bad things. I know Mark Miller is a very polarizing comic book writer, but for the most part, I've liked most of his stuff. I don't, there's a few problems I have with it. I mean, he is responsible for the infamous "Do you think the A on my head stands for France?" meme. But still, like I said, I thought, I thought all those films looked pretty good. And for the most part, I've heard they're pretty good. Anyway, let's see. So the next video is going to be the random trade review on. And the script is right over there too. It's DC Bombshells Volume 1. Sorry, yeah. I'm tired. That's mostly edited and should be ready to go up soon. The next two movies are technically going to be streaming. I am doing Halloween Kills, but I'm going to do that on Peacock rather than go to the theater and save my wallet a little bit. And Muppets Haunted Mansion, which I guess comes out tomorrow, but obviously that review is not going to be up until next week. So yeah, you'll get two movie reviews next week, and then we round out October with Dune. And then I'm not sure what I'm doing in November and December yet, so hopefully there should be some interesting stuff there. See you all next time. Hey guys, remember, you can help support my channel at patreon.com/SleepyTimeForCat Productions, where you can help request a movie, even if it's something like, say, Sonic the Hedgehog or the next Purge film. I'll review it.